let's get into this video. Um, and this might cause a little controversy, but it does do some thought-provoking conversations and comments. And I love that because, you know, these are like everyday occurrences and people don't really talk about them, but the wife refuses to pay the husband's hospital bill. And now, it says when you get married, it's for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, to death do us part. And some people are not reciting those traditional vows anymore. There are the traditional marriage, the authoritarian. There's the marriage of based on biblical, concept, and then there's is the independent contract marriage. There's like three types of marriages where things fall up under those different types of marriages. Now, this woman, and it sounds like this is the marriage where the independent contract marriage, where this falls up under that type of relationship, marriage. We know marriage isn't easy. And marriages come with many complications, and some can be very complex. But we also know that love isn't supposed to hurt. But everybody don't get married for love or because they're in love. A lot of times people get married for the wrong things, and it turns out that the marriages doesn't last because they never learned to love each other because they got married for the wrong things instead of trying to right the wrongs by doing the right thing and really sitting down and talk about what's important, what do they value in the marriage, and why did they get married, and why do they want to stay married. So arguments happen in marriages, and usually it's over money. A lot of times arguments are over money. Matter of fact, finances are one of the biggest topics that couples fight about. And in a fidelity survey, 44% of respondents stated that they argue with their spouse about money occasionally. And research from the Kaiser Family Foundation showed in 2016 that 37% of Americans with medical bills needed to borrow money from family members in order to pay it off. Substantial debts like medical ones can often feel nearly impossible to overcome. And you know what? That's true. And some people have mortgages their homes and have even had to sell their homes or lost their homes because of insurmountable medical bills when a loved one gets sick, whether it's your spouse or a child, and even having to take out loans and max out credit cards to pay for these medical bills that pile up. Because it's not just the hospital bill itself that you have to pay for, the facility, but you have to pay for every service that you have, and for every doctor, subspecialty physician that comes in and sees about you, they are going to bill for their services. And so when those bills start piling up, and then if once you get discharged, there's medication you may have to buy. There may be rehab, and then you have follow-up appointments. And usually one follow-up is included maybe in a surgery you've had, but most of the time you are paying these bills. So in this case, a husband asks his wife to cover his hospital bill and she refuses to help. So I want you all to chime in, be positive, but still leave your comments below once we're done or I'm done with this commentary on this video. So should married couples completely share finances? Well, 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 well. Kate Fowler from Newsweek has gone viral with 7,400 upvotes and 2,500 comments. And she begins her post by clarifying that she and her husband got married 3 years before and they keep their finances separate. Now, some of you may agree to keep your finances separate. And when it comes down to household things like the mortgage, the rent, elect utility bills, if you have still a landline. A lot of people don't have a landline anymore. I still have one for various reasons. Cable bill, groceries. There are things that have to happen in a household that has to get paid. And then you could, what about, you know, uh, what was I going to say? Of emergency fund. There has to be an emergency fund, for car repair, unexpected car repair, not just regular maintenance, but unexpected car repair, unexpected things that may break in the house, water, plumbing issues, like a water issue, not a water issue, but a plumbing issue. And if you have a homeowner's warranty, a lot of things can be covered under that homeowner's warranty. But I'm just saying there's a lot of things that take place. Now, if you keep a separate account, like for your discretionary account, like when you want to buy women clothes, shoes, get your hair and nails done, that kind of thing. You want to go out and go out for entertainment with your girlfriends, things like that, or your lady friends, that kind of thing. You want to take a girls' trip or retreat, like a women's conference or just a retreat or a trip, okay? And then the husband, he wants to hang out with the fellows. He wants new clothes. He wants to buy things, go get his hair cut, go get a pedicure, hang out with his friends, take trips, those type of things. He might need a new basketball or new workout clothes, and then there's the gym memberships, that y'all may pay for. And so you have these discretionary accounts. Or you may just lump everything in one account and people are both using that account and spending out of it, but somebody has to manage that account, because if they don't, you go to buy something and your card declines because you didn't know what uh, your husband was doing and your husband didn't know what you were spending the money on. So, you got to talk about finances. But like she said, they decided to keep their finances separate and they've been married 3 years. That said, recently the husband racked up a hefty medical bill that he couldn't pay off. He asked his wife to assist him in paying the bill, but she outright refused. Now, she clarifies that her husband is very adamant about the pair not sharing finances for personal reasons or casual purchases. And for that reason, she was standing firm in her shared decision to not share money. You see that? Now this is the decision that the husband made, and she said he was very adamant. So she defends her decision by giving an example of a situation from several months before. She was at the mall to get a dress for her sister's wedding, but she didn't have enough money. She called her husband asking him to loan her $200. Now she didn't say give. She didn't say give, keyword loan, but he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't even loan her the money. So, not long after, her husband got into a car accident in which he seriously injured his knee. Now, it doesn't say if it was his fault or not, but he got in this car accident. I guess it doesn't matter because his knee was injured from the car accident. He begged his wife to help with the bill, but she said it was his responsibility to save his own money and drive safer. So, guess what? I stand corrected. I spoke too soon as far as that is concerned. So he must have must have been his fault, because she said it was his responsibility to drive safer. And not only that, it was his responsibility to save his money, right? And have some money in his account. Okay. So the husband's mother ultimately ended up paying the entire hospital bill that he couldn't cover. So his mother stepped up to help him. So the question is, should emergencies constitute bending financial rules in a marriage? Hmm. That's a question that I would like to hear from you all on. Data from debt.com, debt.com's reports that half of Americans carry significant medical debt. With the current healthcare system in the U.S., one hospital visit has the potential of bankrupting a person. And that is very true. And those SAVE surveys reported that those respondents are struggling to pay off less than $5,000 in medical bills with the income they currently make. Diagnostic tests alone make up the most medical debt among all of the charges. Because, like I was saying earlier, if you got to have testing done while you're in the hospital, they're going to charge you for the testing, lab tests, radiology tests. Those exams can be very expensive. CT scans, depending on what type of scan it is, MRI, magnetic resonance imaging scan. Those scans can be very, very expensive. And so she concludes her post by wondering if she was justified in refusing to pay for her husband's hospital bill. Then, just weeks ago, he refused to help her pay for a wedding dress. So, what do you think about this? What do you think? Should couples keep their finances separate, like I was saying earlier? Should they have a pot? It all goes into one, or should they have another separate pot for emergencies and a pot for vacations that they're going to take together? But then, again, have that discretionary account for stuff they want to do, without, that they do without their spouses, and then you have that one, bank account that take care of household expenses. And then, is it only fair that the author refused to give her husband money since he was once refused her as well? Well, that becomes a tit for a tat. Do unto me as I do unto you, or do unto you as you done unto me, right? That may be a problem, a tit for a tat. And since you did me that way, I'm going to teach you a lesson and do you that way. Human nature gets people to doing those things. But we have to remember Christ in our relationships. Even if your marriage is a contract, independent marriage, is all about me, and you don't, hey, if I don't get my way, I'm not happy type of marriage. Or is it based on the biblical concept that we came together when a man finds finds a wife, he finds a good thing. We're going to work together. We're going to put our money together, and we're going to help each other. And we're not going to tit for tat. And even if my husband didn't do it or my wife didn't do it, I'm still going to help you because I love you and you're my husband. Or you're going to do that and you're going to be in once, but you say I'm going to do it this time. But look, don't make it a habit. Or are you under the authoritarian where you stay at home, you don't have an income, and he's paying for everything, and now he had this accident, and the money's funny, hey, and then he says, well, what I say go, and I'm gonna take care of it. So hey, there's three types of marriages out there. However you do your thing in your marriage, because everybody got the way they do their thing in their marriage. But is it only fair? And then since she refused him as well, or is she just being petty because she couldn't get her dress and should have helped her husband in his time of need? Well, she couldn't get her dress because he refused to loan her $200, which was very selfish. You never know what's going to happen to you. So you cannot be selfish, especially in marriages. And in relationships, you have to be unselfish and you have to be giving. But where do you draw the line when the giving is not being returned, when the same grace is not being extended to you all? So don't let me influence you by what I'm saying. Leave your own independent comments in the video, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and share the video. I truly will appreciate that. Uh, I hope that I'm giving you all some thought-provoking, videos that will peep your thoughts and provoke them, and share this video. It may be something that can help somebody else that's going through something, that may be fighting over money and bickering over money and back and forth. You never know what people can get out of information, and it doesn't always have to be bad. You know, we can make light, kind of laugh about things, in an appropriate manner, be comical about it. But at the end of the day, can we learn something? Can we gain something, a takeaway from these videos? If you can't get a takeaway out of videos, I don't know what you're watching. And if you always is listening to negative drama filled videos, hey, take a break from the chaos. Come on over to Stand Up's channel, and I'll put some videos out there for you that will give you thought provoking and even give you some biblical commentary. That's what I do over here. Talk about social issues from a biblical perspective, put my opinion in there, try to make it fun. But however, I love you all. Thank you for tuning in and watching the video. And come back again. I truly appreciate you all. Bye now.